All right, guys, so if you do happen to run across my truck at King of the Hammers or any other event, make sure you always look for the hidden messages from my cousin Jared. He likes to strategically place hidden little messages on every truck that I own, and I just so happen to find them at random times. Shout out to you, Jared. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys saw in the last video, there was a little bit of carnage on the Power Wagon, the Ford Power Wagon. That's an inside joke. If you know, you know. So this thing definitely took a beating in the last video. We are in my front yard right now because my shop is full of customer work, but I do need to get going on this thing. We pretty much ripped everything apart in the front axle in the last video. So the plan of attack for today is picking up the truck, ripping the shocks off, taking those to get rebuilt or replaced. I haven't decided what we're going to do there. We are going to limit strap the front axle this next go around. We did learn the hard way by not strapping the front end, but luckily for the few sponsors I do have, they are going to take care of me, thankfully. So we're going to get some new shocks put on there. We're going to limit strap it. I am going to change up the setup on the front axle. We'll go over that once we get the axle ripped out to try to prevent this from happening. Obviously, the limit straps are going to help, but I'd like to take a couple more precautionary measures to prevent this from happening if I were to break the third link again. I would like to thank everybody for getting the channel where it is. I was super surprised. We got this last video up to almost 19,000 views, which is huge for us. I think the most views we had before that were like 600 views on a video. So I really appreciate you guys following along. I'm excited for making new content in the future. We've got King of the Hammers coming up in February. So the plan is to get the truck back up and going. There's a squirrel right there. I've never seen a squirrel here. What in the hell? Dude. So like I was saying, we will be out at King of the Hammers this year. Last year, building this truck, I had a little incident, cut my face open pretty bad, ended up falling short. We had some technical issues with the truck as well. So we ended up falling short, not making it to King of the Hammers, but the goal is to be at King of the Hammers this year. A bunch of our buddies go there. If you don't know what King of the Hammers is, it's a huge rock crawling event in Johnson Valley, California. It's like a month long. So we will be out there for a week. I think we're going to go the week of the 2nd of February all the way through the 8th. So if you're out there, check us out. Come find us. I'd love to meet all you guys. With this thing moving forward, like I said, we are going to jack this thing up with the skid loader, pull the shocks off, pull all the steering links, suspension links that still remain attached to the truck, and then I will take the axle to my shop, fix what was broke, reinforce it way stronger than the last go around. So that'll be in the next video. If you haven't seen the old video at Sand Mountain Sand Dunes where we obliterated the front end, make sure to go check out the channel. It is on there. It's a good view. A couple other things that I found with the truck. We had, some things rattle loose. The truck's a 1975, so we kind of slapped this thing together, the front clip, in a hurry to make it out to Sand Dunes. I'm going to try to have the hood on before King of the Hammers. We are going to be changing up the exhaust. As you can see, it really impairs the view of the passenger and also the driver. I can't really see anything to my right. So we're going to be changing up the exhaust, and I need to do a catch can because we were spraying oil out of the crankcase breather that had a garden hose with some masking tape holding it on. So other than that, the truck did great. I don't know if the transmission's blown up because on the journey in reverse all the way back to camp, I forgot to turn the transcooler fans on, and I was driving wondering why the tranny cooler was smoking. I looked at the gauge, it was pegged at 250. So we are going to hope and pray that the trans isn't blown up. If it is, we're going to be pulling the transmission out, rebuilding that before King of the Hammers. So fingers crossed, that's not an issue. We are going to upgrade to a larger tranny cooler. The temp sender also was a brand new sender, and that was giving me some issues, giving me false readings. So we were just kind of sending it, not really knowing what the temperature was. and it needs a new sender, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also upgrade the transpan to a cast one. I've got a derail stamped steel pan, but I've got a couple pans, so we're going to upgrade that just in case I bounce it off a rock. It'll hold up a little bit better than the stamped steel one. But yeah, we'll just get right into this. We're going to throw on a time lapse, and we'll go over some of the carnage once I get it all tore apart. All right, guys, so we got the front axle ripped out. We'll go over a couple of the things that are messed up on it. It's really not as bad as it looked. Right here, the lower shock mount is pretty tweaked on both sides. So what I'm going to try to do, instead of cutting them off and rebuilding them, I am going to try to straighten them up. You know, the odds of me breaking this thing again are pretty high, just for, considering it's a rock crawler. We did chew up this tire quite a bit. We are still going to run it. The shock kind of dug into that. But I'm going to try to straighten these up, and then I'll do like an overlay, kind of like a weld washer, to kind of double the thickness of this material. This is 3/16. I wasn't expecting to snap the 3-link off, so, side to side strength is a little bit on the weaker side with being 3/16. So I'm going to try to straighten those up and then weld some plates on that to double the thickness. I'm going to re-weld that 3-link onto this and then tie in a truss, tying in from that to this steel tube. And that should be strong enough. on the axle itself, or on the frame itself, sorry about that, it did bend these shock tabs a little bit. I think I'm going to be able to straighten those up and not really have to work with that too much. I'll probably do the same thing, do like a weld washer on that to give it a little bit of more strength. And then I'm going to, like I said, just take this 3-link mount, tie it back into the axle, brace it up, try to keep it as simple as possible. Something I am going to change about the 3-link setup on the driver side, what I noticed watching videos, that driver side was kind of walking back and forth because it was under so much tension. On the passenger side, there was nothing really supporting that driver side at higher speeds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a upper link off of the lower link into the axle, kind of like a radius arm setup. I don't think I'm going to lose much travel, and if I do, there's plenty on this truck. There's already too much travel as it is. I know some people will beg to differ and say there's no such thing as too much travel, but I'd rather have that third link so that, or that radius, rod up on top of that lower link of the driver's side to kind of help take some of the stress off of this third link. And we will do like an articulation test after doing that. And if it does affect it in a really negative way, then I will kind of go about it a different way. But other than that, I mean, we've just got to extract some bolts out of the yoke. The drive shaft didn't get damaged at all. We just got to buy a new U-joint and button up a few things and slap it back in there and, fix a few things. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully the transmission is not blown up, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So this is going to be kind of a short video. I wanted to get something out there for you guys, kind of make some progress on this while I had a little bit of time. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully we can get something out there next week as well. So